Hello YouTube. This will be a short review of Dromida's MT 4.18 brushless edition. I might just be the single most experienced driver of this vehicle in its stock form, having easily put 100 plus packs through the very truck you see in the video. For those familiar with this vehicle, it is a brushless truck under there, despite the body being from the brushed version. To go over the specs quickly, this truck is a 1/18th scale 4x4 brushless monster truck. It boasts a 5300 kV brushless motor, a 25 amp ESC, and a 10 gram servo. It comes completely RTR, right down to the interestingly branded Dromida AA's for the radio. Also included are the charger and a 7.2 volt 6-cell nickel metal hydride battery pack. Due to some slop in the steering assembly, it is difficult to get this truck to track straight. The included steering servo seems to do its job well enough, but there seems to be excessive play in between the tires and the steering knuckles, and the tires don't always realign properly when the servo recenters. Still, the truck is by no means uncontrollable, and with some getting used to, it handles fine. Just don't expect to win high-level races with it out of the box. You won't find a much faster vehicle of this size and price range. The 5300 kV motor delivers power that matches or maybe even surpasses that of a brushed 1 to 10 scale short course truck, and this is using a nickel metal hydride pack. The ESC can handle 2S LiPo power, meaning that it can potentially go even faster and last even longer. However, it must be noted that the Dromida branded 2S 7.4 LiPo battery and the corresponding charger have been discontinued, but the battery tray is large enough to accommodate at least one LiPo battery that I've found on Amazon. As long as you can replace the connectors on the battery and ESC, LiPo power is possible. Using the stock nickel metal hydride battery pack, with the throttle dual rate set about halfway, this truck will run for about 10 to 15 minutes non-stop, or 20 to 25 minutes with stop and go. This is more than enough to try out all sorts of bashing, which is what this truck claims to be all about. This little truck has proven itself quite durable over the year and a half that it's been used. Its most endearing feature in terms of durability is its ability to shrug off 4-foot-high jumps on pavement with very little, if any, trouble. Though a few essential upgrades are required to achieve this. Black-colored extra firm springs and 50 to 100 weight shock oil will do it. Due to its lightweight and solid plastic construction, this truck can take some serious hits and still keep rolling. As long as you're not purposely trying to break it, it should hold up to all sorts of punishment. Probably its most vulnerable spot is the stock plastic shock towers, which rip off quickly from the top when the truck lands with its wheels to the sky. The aluminum replacement part from Dromida is a welcome upgrade. The other part that I've replaced once is the spur gear. When jumping the MT 4.18 continuously, the gear mesh between the spur and pinion tends to fall apart, and if you don't catch it quickly enough, the nylon spur gear can strip. It's at its best out on the pavement. The tires get enough traction to make things manageable, but not so much that you're forbidden from doing power slides and other fun shenanigans. It's also the best place to exploit the truck's impressive speed. It does well enough on hard-packed dirt. The tires don't get much traction, which for a basher is a good or bad thing depending on who you ask. However, be prepared to empty and clean your chassis because it picks up a lot of sand and dirt really fast. The MT 4.18's small footprint means that it can be run inside in the average living room, as long as it is run at moderate speeds. Still, it can be lots of fun to drive this vehicle indoors and to practice jumping. Grass of average length should generally be avoided by a responsible MT 4.18 owner, as it will put excess strain on the motor and ESC or just immobilize the vehicle. Touching the motor can to test its temperature after a long trek through the grass is highly recommended. You'll need some tools commonly found in many households to work on an MT 4.18. These include small Phillips screwdrivers, 2 Allen keys, one 2mm and a 1.5mm, and a small 5.5mm socket for the wheel nut. If you're intense about your maintenance, you can also include rubbing alcohol to clean out the bearings, and a tiny brush to get at these really hard to clear spots to get rid of tiny rocks or sand particles. It isn't too hard to get to the essential parts of the vehicle. The spur gear can be easily accessed, as can the engine mount. The truck's differentials are a bit trickier, as is the servo, but with a little patience, you'll be feeling like a small-scale mechanic in no time. The MT 4.18 is a very solid truck, all things considered. Its only real drawback is its handling, which is still by no means horrible. Its small size also means that it can't be run on grass, which is limiting, but it does allow it to run indoors. If you're willing to look past these shortcomings, tons of fun can be had with this RC. It's a great vehicle to learn the ins and outs of jumping. As of the time of this video, the MT 4.18 brushless edition is no longer available in stores, although parts remain in circulation. With the Horizon Hobby buyout of Hobbico, the Dromida brand passed over to Horizon Hobby. Horizon already owns a brand of vehicles featuring a four-wheel drive 1/18 scale monster truck, the ECX Ruckus. Likely to avoid redundancy in their product lineup, Horizon decided to discontinue the Dromida and keep the Ruckus. This is, in my humble opinion, an unfortunate decision for consumers. The 1/18 scale ECX Ruckus is powered by a brushed motor, meaning it can't achieve the speed or longevity of the brushless MT 4.18. It also means that Horizon no longer has a brushless 1/18 scale monster truck in its lineup. One can be left to stipulate that brushless 1/18 scale vehicles are no longer a popular enough part of the RC market. And that's it for me. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and comment. If you didn't, hit the thumb down and specify what you didn't like if you have a minute.